Meet the faces behind the code. I'd like to introduce our first speaker to break the ice on this Saturday morning. He's a senior software engineer at Tarmac, or like his boss calls him, the professor. He brings 11 years of experience building production-grade software in healthcare, fintech, education, and much more. For the last 7 years, he's working as a senior software engineer at Tarmac. He holds a solid background in computer science and proven track record of leading teams to success. He specializes in crafting seamless mobile experiences. We are pleased to have him with us today, sharing his knowledge and hands-on experience on how to compose your way a real-world journey in Android UI transformation. Shout out for Erenis Ramadani. Come on, the floor is yours.
Test, test, test. 1, 2, 1, 2. Hi, everyone. Thank you for being here. Yeah, I have a bottle of water. A friend of mine suggested that I keep this while I speak. It will be easier on me. Thank you. Okay, so I'll try not to bore you as a first talk. Even if I do, I don't care. So we'll talk about a recent experience of ours that we had in Tarmac, that we migrated the Android application from the good old XML way to Compose. But before we talk about that, I'll start by introducing myself a bit, if what Donna said wasn't enough. So yeah, if you haven't noticed, this was me a year ago or so. I was a bit fatter. So yeah, I've been with Tarmac for over 7 years now, and I do mostly Android, but during this experience, mostly in Tarmac, I've had the chance to touch other things as well. I do software for over 11 years now, and yeah, quite a journey. I'm in LinkedIn, GitHub, and this is my email. Please don't email me, but yeah, in case you need to. Also a disclaimer, so the code that we represent here is just examples, like shortened examples. So we did that just for illustration, and that's no like actual code that I did in production somewhere. Maybe someone else did. Let's start with where we were before Compose. So our UI initially was built with the traditional XML layouts, and then fragments, views, custom views, and whatever. Yeah, that's just the traditional setup, and it worked. So yeah, anyone who does Android has an idea of what this looks like and what this is. So this is just a view in Android. So the layout, the XML part, where you design the UI, and then the bottom part is the Kotlin code that you have to introduce the layout, the XML to Kotlin. Or for those who use view binding, this is the view binding alternative of what we had. So yeah, this was functional, was doing its work, and was working fine. But when we needed to change something, we needed to add a new function, a new design or even more complex design, then that's when we started seeing the real struggle. Because anyone who develops Android knows that when we have like bigger, like a more complex design, the layout won't look like this. So it will be multiple XML files included in each other. So we have multiple layers of code that we need to change. And that's what started bringing the need to look for alternatives, like more modern alternatives. Why did we choose Compose? So when we started, when Compose started taking off, we noticed it, and we thought we'd give it a try. So we started testing several things, and just designing small parts of the UI to just see how it works. And why did we choose it? So when you work in a team, basically everyone is looking for something that makes everyone's life easier, right? So we need something that's easy to read, easy to maintain, test, and all of that. And yeah, Compose provides that all together. So suddenly, when we started doing that, we were more productive. So it was easier to develop code. It was easier to build features, and the code was looking much simpler because now we only had Kotlin to take care of. We didn't need to switch from XML to Kotlin and back to XML and whatever. So everything was in a single language. The testing was also very easy, and the tools that Android provides are quite powerful. So why not? And everything just started feeling much better, much easier. So now, the code that looked like this started to switch into that, which was a huge win to everyone. So 30 lines of code altogether turned into 10. Why not? Who won't take it, right? But obviously, we didn't go, let's migrate everything. We took an incremental approach. So initially, when we started, like I said, when we met Compose, we started building small things, and as soon as we liked it, because we liked it, and as soon as we decided that we'll start using Compose, we decided that we will build everything new in Compose. So no more XML. XML was still there, but just for a time, like short time. So everything new was being built in Compose, and as soon as we started gathering more Compose code, we started noticing the need to start organizing the code a bit, the code. So we started setting up reusable components that we will use throughout the whole app. And I just noticed we have some missing icons. So yeah, we started organizing the code, creating components to use throughout the whole app. And as soon as we had a good chunk of components that we felt comfortable, and obviously we felt comfortable with the progress we have made. So we started, when we decided that we'll switch to Compose, we started picking some smaller features, or let's say started picking more isolated features of the app to migrate them. So we needed to also make sure that nothing that we were building or we were changing, we were migrating, wouldn't break the whole app. So testing was also a very crucial part, like making sure that we test things properly and we update our tests properly so we don't break the whole app was crucial. Another challenge, I'll say challenge, but it was part of the strategy, was to bring everyone in. So switching from one platform to the other one was quite a challenge, I'll say. So we needed to educate everyone in the team about the change. So how things will move now. The design team needed to come into peace with that, and the rest of the team that needed developing needed to also get comfortable with Compose. So that was all part of the plan. And as we transitioned to Compose, so we started noticing that these, so for the data binding guys or view binding guys, these are a nightmare. As much as I liked it back in the day, after getting introduced to Compose, I started not liking it. So we were not seeing these anymore. So this got totally outdated. And we moved into this. So now one will say we have multiple views. So like I said in the beginning of the migration, we didn't go like full migrate. Why that? Because the app was big and we needed to make time for other things. So we had to take that incremental approach. So now still the app has XML, but only like this. And what this does is we have this compose view that XML provides, where every compose part is living on. So everything gets in this compose view, and then the rest of the code is all composable functions. What did we learn during this journey? So, like I said, composables really boost productivity and speed. We were able to deliver new features, new things in much like less time than we were able to previously. Something else that needs mentioning is the state management. So we need to have clear boundaries and strategy of how we manage the state. So because we can very easily overdo things, and that can cause headaches later. Recomposition is a different thing that needs attention. It caught us off guard. Like I said, we were all getting to know Compose, so it was just lesson for everyone. I'll talk a bit more for the recomposition in a bit. During this time, so I think Compose has started, like has come to life in 2021, and we have started doing that. I think February 2021 was when we got first introduced to Compose, and we started using it around maybe fall that year, so early in the Compose time. And we have been like in updated in sync with it during the whole period. So the tools have matured quite a lot since then. So the previews, the, I don't know, the performance tracking tools and everything, it's just something that has been upgrading and improving significantly during this journey. And although the team collaboration got a spike, I'll say, in improved collaboration, just because everyone was learning and we needed to communicate with each other a lot. So that was also something that we can consider a takeaway from this journey. Some gotchas and tips. Composition local is a powerful tool of Compose. I'll talk in more details in a bit about it as well, but we need to make sure that we don't introduce things, like I said, we don't overdo things, because it's quite easy to overdo things when you get overexcited. The recompositions, I'll mention them as well. Custom layouts are powerful, so are easy to build, but they add in the complexity. And try to use these, I think they are called traces in Compose. So to keep an eye on the memory usage when you do, especially when you do custom components with Compose. The composition local example. So what's the composition local initially? Let's say we have this data class. So we'll get in a bit more technical demo now. Let's have this data class that has these couple of properties. And defining this local user from a composition local of this user class. So the composition local enables us to be able to use the property or any property we want without explicitly setting it as an argument or as a parameter in the like in the UI tree lower in the tree components. Let's say we have this composable, the app content. So app content basically is the bigger screen, the bigger content of the app, which provides this local user in this profile screen component, which looks like this. So basically, we don't set the local user parameter, but we don't set the user parameter in the compose, but we send the local user the composition to it. So we don't have to, so this is not an issue to send it here, but imagine we'll have multiple components in this hierarchy, and then we have to send it to every composable the parameter. That's when these are handy. And this is all good and seems fine, right? But let's take this other example where we have this local theme padding as a composition local, and in this component we try to use it, right? So what we have done now is we have set a dependency of the local composition to the composable, right? And there is nothing wrong with this as long as we pass the provider, so we provide the local composable, local composition, sorry, to the somewhere in the tree. It doesn't matter which level, somewhere in the tree, if we provide it, we are all good. But that can be tricky when we try to use it in places where that's not possible. For example, in this preview, so the preview is the one that we see what we are doing without running the code. This will be issue here, or if we are testing the app. So a better approach of this would be to pass the value as an argument. So we can still use the local composition, but as a parameter. So now we avoid these hidden dependencies that can cause like these issues that I mentioned previously. What's recomposition initially? I'll try to be a bit shorter because I ran out of time. So the recompositions are the need of the regenerating the UI that the user sees. Those are called recompositions. And when do these recomposition happen is like when a state changes or I don't know, say the live data changes, composable function has a parameter which changes. Those are all the cases that cause the recomposition. So to explain the recomposition, I asked ChatGPT, obviously, and it said, think of it like it's Compose's way of saying something has changed in the UI tree. Let's make that change visible to the users. And that's when these properties come handy, the derived state of, or the remember, or all of that. Because let's take, for example, this function, this composable function, which is supposed to filter a list based on a query. So filter this list based on this query. In this case, whenever we use this composable, no matter what changes in the tree, like if something changes in the list or something changes in the query or something totally unrelated changes, and this is called, this will keeps filtering and filtering and filtering every time a recomposition happens. And that won't be an issue when we have 5 items in the list, but when we scale up, like say, I don't know, 10,000, 15,000 items needs to be queried, then that affects performance. Using derived state helps us in this because that's what they are meant to do, right? So derived state are part of the side effects called library API in Compose, and that like creates a new thread where things happen out of the context of where we are calling it. So in this case, so it does the exact same thing, but it will only happen, like it will only filter when the query or the items in the list change. So this is a much more efficient way of like listing or filtering this list. What's next is, so like I said, we haven't migrated fully because of the dependencies we have. So hopefully we will be able to be a XML-less app very soon. So completely Compose app. Next thing is to explore the Compose for where, just because of the nature of the app we have. So the app is in the health care industry, and obviously wares help us keeping track of our health. Compose multi-platform is something that we are evaluating to integrate. So I don't know how familiar with that you all are, but that's something like a hybrid for mobile development and material design. Like I said, we had a legacy app, so we didn't have material integrated, and that's something that we need to move forward just because it's much easier to integrate, like it's already integrated in the Compose. So yeah. Before I thank you for your patience and for getting you bored, I guess. Anyone has any questions?
Okay.
Please.
Please raise your hands if you have a question. I think that we'll have time for around 2 questions or 1. We have a
Take the microphone,
hand
please.
here.
Please, not very hard question.
Okay. With Nicola, and since we're in the era of AI, shouldn't Android and Android Studio have some AI feature to move or regenerate the legacy AI XML into Jetpack Compose or something like that?
That would be handy, but it will run us out of work, so I hope not. Yeah, hopefully they should do that. It's, like I said, Compose is still in a very early stage of development, and hopefully, like later, I don't know, maybe in a couple of years or so, they should have. They did with Android X, they did with everything else, like moving from Java to Kotlin. So they'll probably do this as well.
And Erenis, sorry, but one more question.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hello.
Presentation here, by the way.
Thank you.
Didn't understand half of it, but that's on me. So my question is non-technical, actually. So you mentioned like this improved team collaboration, but like kind of dial it back a little bit. To begin with this, did you have any resistance from the devs? Sometimes catching on something new can be hard and difficult, and people tend to resist and stick to things they know and are easier.
I didn't get the whole question because of the technical issues here.
And can we do it without microphone?
So, did you get any resistance from the devs when you tried to shift them to this new paradigm? Because it looks like this took a lot of work, and sometimes people tend to stick to what they know, and it's easier to work with.
Well, not really. I think everyone liked Compose. So when you do Android, like, and you do this switch, everyone agrees that it's a big, like, mental shift from developing with XML into Compose, and that's true. But as soon as we started seeing what Compose allows us in the long term, like how much easier is to develop software in Android, design screens and every capability it offers, nobody even mentioned it anymore. So everyone asks when we will move like out of XML, so nobody wants to see XML anymore. So I think we had quite the opposite, not resistance, but we are like, they are pushing that we move much faster with the migration.
Cool. Thank you, everyone. Thank
you.
Erenis, once
Thank
again.
you very much.